Hello, and welcome back to Elderflowerings. Today, we're going to touch upon something that many feel but few openly discuss. It's a quiet reality that can settle in during our later years, often unexpectedly, like an uninvited guest who overstays their welcome. I'm talking about that moment, or perhaps those series of moments, when you look around and realize there's no one left by your side in the way there once was. The house is quieter than it used to be. The phone rings less. The familiar routines once shared with a spouse, a close circle of friends, or bustling family have faded, leaving a silence that can feel vast. Perhaps you're nodding along right now, a quiet ache of recognition in your heart. If you are, please know this. This isn't a conversation about pity, nor is it a lament. Here at Elderflowerings, we believe in the enduring capacity of the human spirit to adapt, to seek light, and yes, even to bloom in the most unexpected of circumstances. Today, we're going to talk honestly about this profound loneliness, but more importantly, we're going to explore what to do. We're going to talk about actionable steps, shifts in perspective, and the deep wells of strength within you ready to be drawn upon. This is advice for navigating these solitary seasons with courage and finding new ways to connect, both with others and with yourself. The unvarnished truth, facing the silence. Let's be frank, the silence can be deafening, can't it? It's a silence often born from a series of goodbyes. Perhaps you've lovingly laid a spouse to rest, and with them, a lifetime of shared moments and easy companionship. Maybe dear friends have moved away to be closer to their own families, or have faced health challenges that limit their ability to connect. Or perhaps, as life naturally unfolds, your children are engrossed in their own busy lives, their careers, their children, and the geographical miles between you feel more pronounced than ever. This isn't anyone's fault. It's often just the landscape of a long life. But acknowledging the terrain doesn't make navigating it any less challenging. The emotional impact of this profound solitude isn't just a simple sadness. Oh no, it can run much deeper. It can morph into a gnawing fear of what the future holds. It can make you feel invisible, as if your presence in the world has somehow dimmed. You might even start to question your own relevance, your purpose, now that the roles that once defined you have shifted or fallen away. I remember speaking with a gentleman. Let's call him Arthur. Arthur was 78, and he'd lost his beloved Clara nearly 2 years prior. The first year, he told me, his voice soft, was a blur of grief. But the second year, that's when the silence really moved in. Our friends, well, we were a foursome mostly. Bill and Mary. Bill's not doing so well himself, and Mary's run ragged looking after him. My daughter calls every Sunday, bless her, but she's 3 states away. My son, he's got his own struggles. Arthur described how his world had shrunk to the 4 walls of his living room. The television became his primary companion, its flickering images a poor substitute for real conversation. He'd find himself talking to Clara's photograph, a habit that brought both comfort and a fresh wave of sorrow. He wasn't just missing her, he was missing the life they had, the easy rhythm of shared days, the feeling of being part of a we. His experience, in its unique details, echoes the hearts of many. It's the unvarnished truth of what it can mean to find yourself alone in your later years. Beyond the ache, understanding what's stirring within. This ache of loneliness, it's complex. It's not just about the absence of people. Beneath the surface, other currents are often stirring. There can be a profound fear of becoming a burden. You might hesitate to reach out, thinking, oh, they're too busy, or I don't want to impose. This reluctance, while understandable, can inadvertently deepen the isolation. There's also the subtle erosion of identity. For decades, you might have been defined by your role as a husband or wife, a parent, a dedicated employee or business owner, an active member of a particular social group. When these roles diminish or disappear, it can leave you wondering, who am I now? It's a disorienting feeling, like a ship that has lost its familiar moorings. And let's be honest, the sheer effort of initiating connections can feel more challenging as we age. Energy levels may not be what they once were. The thought of putting yourself out there, of trying to forge new friendships when you've had a lifetime of established ones, can feel utterly exhausting before you even begin. It's crucial here to distinguish between being alone and being lonely. Solitude, when chosen, can be a rich and restorative experience. It can be a time for reflection, for peaceful pursuits, for simply being. Many find profound contentment in chosen solitude. But loneliness is different. Loneliness feels imposed, like a hunger that isn't being fed. It's a yearning for connection that goes unanswered. We also have to acknowledge, gently, that sometimes society itself can inadvertently contribute to this isolation. Communities may not always be designed with the social needs of elders in mind. Opportunities for intergenerational connection might be scarce. The world, in its rush, can sometimes overlook the quiet wisdom and companionship that older adults have to offer, and in turn, overlook their need for it. Understanding these deeper layers helps us approach the situation not with blame, but with a fuller compassion for ourselves and for others who walk this path. The turning point: choosing to reignite, not just resign. Now, it would be easy to let this narrative end here, in the quiet room with Arthur, in the ache of unspoken yearning. But that is not the Elderflowerings way. Because within every challenge, particularly those that touch us so deeply, lies an opportunity for courage, for growth, and for a new kind of blooming. This is the turning point. It's the moment we acknowledge the pain, yes, we honor the losses, absolutely, but then we make a conscious choice to reignite, not just resign. It's about deciding that this chapter, even if quieter, even if different, will still hold meaning, connection, and purpose. It's about believing that even in what seems like emptiness, there is fertile ground for new seeds to be sown. This isn't about pretending the loneliness doesn't hurt. It's about deciding that the hurt will not be the entirety of your story. It's about understanding that taking even the smallest step towards connection, towards engagement, is an act of profound courage and self-love. It's easy to retreat when you feel alone, to pull the curtains and let the world fade. It takes a quiet bravery to say, no, not yet. There is still life to be lived, still connections to be made, still joy to be found. And that bravery, I assure you, resides within you. Practical pathways. Rebuilding your social landscape. So, where do we begin? How do we start to gently push back the shadows of isolation and invite new light in? It's about taking small, deliberate steps to rebuild your social landscape. Sometimes by revisiting old paths, and sometimes by bravely forging new ones. First, reach out, even when it's hard. This might sound obvious, but it's often the biggest hurdle. Think about those dormant contacts, an old friend you haven't spoken to in years, a distant cousin, a former neighbor. The thought of reconnecting might feel awkward, but you'd be surprised how often people are delighted to hear from someone from their past. Try the light touch method. A simple email, a text message, a card in the mail saying, "I was thinking of you the other day and wanted to say hello." No pressure, no lengthy explanations needed, just a gentle opening of a door. Second, embrace new beginnings. This is where that quiet bravery truly shines. Your local community is often teeming with possibilities if you know where to look. Explore local groups. Most communities have senior centers offering a wealth of activities, from exercise classes and card games to art workshops and day trips. Libraries are another fantastic resource, often hosting book clubs, guest lectures, or computer classes. Think about your interests. Is there a gardening club, a historical society, a group of people who enjoy walking? Consider volunteering. Sharing your time and skills can be an incredibly rewarding way to connect with others and rediscover a sense of purpose. Hospitals, animal shelters, schools, food banks, many organizations rely on volunteers and offer a built-in community. Become a student again. It's never too late to learn something new. Many colleges and community centers offer discounted courses for seniors, covering everything from history and literature to pottery or a new language. Online learning platforms also open up a world of possibilities from the comfort of your home, and some even have interactive forums. Third, leverage technology wisely. While it can sometimes feel overwhelming, technology can be a powerful bridge across distances. Video calls, seeing the faces of loved ones, children, grandchildren, old friends who live far away, can make a world of difference compared to just a phone call. Schedule regular virtual coffee dates or story times with grandkids. Online communities. Websites like Meetup or Facebook have groups dedicated to almost every imaginable interests. You can find forums for people who love the same books, movies, hobbies, or even support groups for specific life situations. A word of caution, of course, always be mindful of online safety and scams. But don't let fear prevent you from exploring the genuine connection technology can offer. Focus on secure platforms and connecting with people through established organizations or shared verifiable interests. Fourth, don't underestimate the power of weak ties. These are the casual acquaintances in your daily life. The friendly barista at your local coffee shop, the librarian who helps you find books, your postman, the person you nod to on your daily walk. These brief, pleasant interactions might seem minor, but they weave a subtle fabric of community around you. They remind you that you are seen, that you are part of the everyday world. Make eye contact, offer a smile, engage in a little small talk. These small courtesies can brighten your day and theirs. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 72. After her husband passed and her best friend moved to another state to be near her grandchildren, Margaret told me she felt like her world had become terribly beige. She'd always loved to read, but found herself just staring at the pages. One day, she saw a flyer at her local library for a Knit and Natter group. Margaret hadn't knitted in 30 years. "I nearly talked myself out of it a dozen times," she chuckled. "What if I made a fool of myself? What if they were all experts? What if nobody talked to me?" But she went, and it was a bit awkward at first. She dropped a lot of stitches. But one woman kindly helped her. Another admired the color of her yarn. And soon, the gentle clicking of needles was accompanied by laughter and shared stories. Margaret didn't become best friends with everyone overnight, but she found a place to go. She found a few friendly faces. She found a reason to get out of the house. And slowly, a little color started to seep back into her world. That small act of joining a group, as simple as it sounds, was a lifeline. Nourishing your inner world, the strength of self-companionship. Rebuilding your social landscape is vital, but equally important is nurturing your inner world, cultivating what I like to call self-companionship. Because ultimately, the longest relationship you will ever have is the one you have with yourself.
Learning to find contentment and even joy in your own company is a profound skill, especially in these later chapters. So, how do we do this? Rediscover yourself or discover anew. What are your passions? Those hobbies you set aside when life was more hectic. Now is the time to pick them up again. Painting, writing, playing a musical instrument, gardening, model building, researching your family history. Engaging in activities you love purely for your own enjoyment can be incredibly fulfilling. And it's never too late to learn something entirely new. That ukulele you always fancied? That online course on astronomy? Go for it. The comfort of routine. While spontaneity has its place, a gentle, flexible routine can provide a comforting structure to your days, especially when you're living alone. This doesn't mean a rigid schedule, but rather a rhythm. Perhaps a morning walk, a dedicated time for reading or a hobby, a regular mealtime. These anchors can prevent days from feeling formless and empty. Practice mindfulness and gratitude. This doesn't require complicated rituals. Mindfulness is simply about paying attention to the present moment, without judgment. The taste of your morning tea, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the sound of birdsong. Gratitude, too, can be a powerful antidote to loneliness. Try keeping a small journal and jotting down 3 things you're grateful for each day, however small. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present.
Connect with nature and consider a pet. Spending time in nature has well-documented benefits for our mental and emotional well-being. A walk in the park, tending a small garden, or even a few houseplants. Simply sitting by a window and observing the natural world, these can be deeply soothing. And for many, the companionship of a pet, a dog, a cat, even a bird, can be an incredible source of comfort, affection, and routine. The unconditional love of an animal can fill a house with warmth. Remember, learning to be a good companion to yourself isn't about resignation. It's about recognizing your own inherent worth and capacity for contentment, regardless of who else is physically present. It's about creating an inner sanctuary of peace and engagement. When to seek more support. Now, it's important to say that sometimes, despite our best efforts, the weight of loneliness can feel too heavy to lift on our own, and that is perfectly okay. There is immense strength, not weakness, in recognizing when you need more support. If feelings of sadness, hopelessness, or anxiety are persistent and overwhelming, please consider reaching out for professional help. Therapists and counselors. Many therapists specialize in working with older adults and can provide invaluable support in navigating grief, loneliness, and life transitions. They can offer coping strategies and a safe space to explore your feelings. Support groups. Beyond hobby groups, there are often specific support groups for bereavement, for caregivers, or for seniors experiencing loneliness. Sharing your experiences with others who truly understand can be incredibly validating and helpful. Community mental health services and helplines. Don't hesitate to look into local mental health services or confidential helplines designed for seniors. They can provide immediate support and direct you to further resources. Reaching out for this kind of support is an act of profound self-care. You don't have to carry this burden alone. Empowering conclusion. Your life still blooming. Finding yourself with fewer people by your side in old age is a tender reality, one that deserves our compassion and our proactive attention. It is not a sign of failure, nor is it an endpoint. It is instead another of life's seasons, one that calls for a different kind of strength, a different kind of connection. Remember Arthur, who felt his world had shrunk to his living room? He eventually took a small step. He started attending a weekly current events discussion group at his local library. It was daunting at first, but he listened. Then he started to contribute. He met others who, like him, were seeking connection and intellectual stimulation. It didn't replace Clara, of course not, but it added a new, small thread of engagement to his life, and then another. The courage it takes to acknowledge your loneliness and then consciously choose to weave new threads of connection into your life with others and with yourself is immense. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. Your life, even in its quieter moments, still holds immense value. Your experiences, your wisdom, your unique presence, they still matter deeply. Don't let the silence define you. Let it be the space in which you hear the call to explore new pathways, to nurture your own soul, to perhaps even surprise yourself with what and who you might yet discover. Thank you for joining me on Elderflowerings today. If this conversation has resonated with you, please know you are not alone in your feelings, and there is always hope for new connections and renewed purpose. Take one small step this week. Reach out, explore, be kind to yourself. Until next time, keep tending to your own beautiful bloom.